Hello, and welcome to this chat about CPD, Continuous Professional Development. And my name is Jose Rodriguez-Olveira. I am a member of the Chartered Institute of Linguists. I'm a charter linguist, I'm a public service translator, and I'm a community interpreter level 6. Uh, Today, I want to talk to you about continuous professional development, or CPD. So, what is CPD? Well, I don't think there is an easy definition or a simple definition for what CPD is. In my experience, CPD is what you make of it. We can talk, for example, we can talk about structured and organized CPD, webinars, seminars, conferences, short or long courses related to our specialism or our profession, and the list goes on. I think that CPD is much more than this, and in many cases, we are constantly learning from different sources that we could use as CPD. Uh, the first typical example that comes to mind is books. We all read books that are related to our career or our job, our professions, and here we may include also magazine or newspaper articles that are interesting for our profession. For example, last week I was preparing a live webinar on human trafficking, and I came across an article on human trafficking on the Guardian newspaper. So I read it and I took some vocabulary from it and some ideas from it. So I included that on my CPD record. But I'm going to speak about that later. So also something that I always recommend our students is TV programs. TV programs, but I'm not talking like Murder She Wrote or CSI Los Angeles or things like that. I'm talking, for example, about 24 hours in police custody, suspect number one, crime and punishment, and others like them. I use these programs to extract a lot of vocabulary from them and see also how police carry out investigations and arrests in real life. That helps me with my own glossaries, to expand my glossaries, and to expand also my knowledge about the work the police does. For example, this year I was looking for an acronym in Google, an acronym that the police use, and I found an article about a TV program called Line of Duty that I had never watched. But the article said that all the acronyms in the program were accurate and taken from real life. And they included a list of all of them that were shown, that were talked about in this program. And there I found the acronym that I was looking for. So obviously, I copied the whole list of acronyms, and now they rest in my laptop in a Word document and also in my iPad in a PDF document in case I need it. So these are clear examples that CPD opportunities are everywhere, and we do not need to pay a lot of money to improve our knowledge. Another example of something that you can do as CPD is to develop your own system of symbols for note taking. That is also a work that you are doing to improve your skills. So that's something that has to do with your professional development, and you can include that in your record. Um, so why should I, as an interpreter, have to undertake CPD? Well, the the most straightforward answer is to be constantly updated, uh, because that should be in our top list of interests as interpreters. We want to be the best we can. We want to be a cut above the rest. And the way of standing out is showing that you care for your profession and your career. And one way of doing this is by undertaking CPD. CPD, as I said, can take many forms. Um, I could be watching a program to extract vocabulary, learning about processes in the police, in courts, uh, the NHS, and it can also be learning a new skill. For example, a new piece of software, a new remote interpreting technology, or even research about new possibilities for remote interpreting. These days, it's very, very important that we keep updated about all the new technology that's coming up for remote interpreting that was obviously brought by the pandemic this year. So CPD will not only help you stand out, but also will keep you interested and focused on your career. When I had periods that I was not interpreting or translating and I was only devoted to teaching, I still kept my CPD going for my original profession. It is important to keep afresh of new technologies, new ideas, new terminology, new software, new processes. Um, and for example, a very, very clear example this year is because during the COVID-19 pandemic, new terminology came up: shielding, lockdown. Uh, I mean, a lot of things that I can think about all of them now. And we, as interpreters and translators, must be up to date with it. So some organizations, for example, at the beginning of the pandemic, published their own glossaries on the internet for language specialists to be kept updated. So now, where can I find appropriate CPD? And this again will depend on what you're looking for. As I mentioned before, CPD opportunities are everywhere. We can create our own CPD. However, if we are looking for something more specific and more structured, then we should look at organizations that have specific courses of webinars. For example, ISL, the International School of Linguists, has been recently developing a series of new online courses, live webinars, recorded webinars that that have topics that are interesting for interpreters. So, and this is one thing that this global pandemic brought us, and it is the possibility of distance learning, either doing courses online or downloading webinars that we can follow at our own pace and in our own time. So this is something that obviously was starting before the pandemic. Online learning is not something that appeared all of a sudden last year. There were lots of platforms that were doing it, like Udemy and Coursera and other organizations. But this year, because we didn't have the opportunity to go out to do to go to conferences or to go to live seminars or go out of our homes to do all these courses, all these things, these have been developed more, and we are getting more to the internet to look for possibilities, for chances of developing our professional development. So when you are looking for something specific, you always need to check the relevance that those webinars that you found have regarding your own interest. So, for example, when I want something specific, I look for experienced professionals or organizations that can offer what I want. And the offer online is immense, so you need to be a bit choosy in this respect. How do I keep track of my CPD? Well, this again is very personal, the personal choice. There are many ways of doing it. For example, the Chartered Institute of Linguists have have a CPD template that is accessible for the members, and there we can record all the CPD that we do during the year. We can include courses, webinars, seminars, conference attendance, books, articles, TV programs, movies, anything and everything that can help us in our profession. But if you do not have access to this template, not a member of the Institute, you can create your own CPD record sheet. It can be a Word document or a spreadsheet in Excel. Again, the possibilities are immense. But it is important that you include the name of the activity. Is it a webinar? Is it a seminar? Is it a short course? Or the program you watched, or the title of the book or the article that you read, the time that it took for you to read the book or to watch the program or to do the course or to do the webinar, and also a short reflection. What did you get from it? How did it help you? That did it help you in a specific way in your career? For example, if it is a TV program, you can just say that it helped you create a new glossary on a particular topic or to expand one that you already have. In my CPD record, I also include the time I spend researching for an assignment, for example, or for a webinar that I am preparing, or the name of the webinar I created. Because professional development is not only we as passive learners receiving information, it's also us as trainers. And if you prepare any material that can be used by your colleagues, or that you prepare for the students, or that you prepare to support someone or to mentor someone, that's something that also is very important for your professional development. So you should include it in your record. I hope that this helps you clarify what CPD is, how we can um, benefit from it, and how it can be useful for our profession. Thank you very much for listening, and see you in another opportunity. Goodbye.